welcome to the City Smashers podcast. Your number one source for Kaiju, Mecha, Tokusatsu, whatever the fuck else.
Great calamity.
That's right.
Wait, can we cuss on this thing?
Yeah.
No, you can't at all. Watch
God
your fucking
damn it,
mouth.
that sucks.
Jesus Christ. Damn.
Yeah, so if you haven't listened to the old shit before, we are back. It has been
You mean the one episode?
Yeah, the one episode that we did.
Listened to, and
That's right.
Boy, that one person is here with us.
That's right. We are back. City Smashers is back. I'm your host, Jerson Ambion. With me, to my left, like Jesus was to God himself, the left-hand man.
Co-host.
That's right. The co-host, Matthew Howell. That's right. What up, Matt? It's been a while since I haven't seen you since.
It's been 2 years since I've talked.
I haven't seen you truly since that last podcast.
I know. Honestly.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's like a lot's happened.
A lot has happened.
Nothing happened in 2018.
That's right. Yeah. There's truly nothing from us from 2018, but 2019. New year, new me.
Resurrected.
That's right. We've got a new studio. We've got a new setup.
Great studio.
We're gonna.
That's
That's right. But we're gonna be knocking. We're gonna be knocking a bunch of these shits out.
Get some context. We're still not too sure when we're actually gonna release this. But it's early.
So if you heard us say 2019 and it's 2021 right now, if you found this in some sort of Cloverfield-esque found SD card,
or I decided to put this in a time machine.
That's right.
Reason. A capsule, and I buried it in the ground. Early 2019, and that is true. We really didn't do anything in 2018. But it's like City Smashers, very close to our hearts.
Indeed it was.
Just as much as the movie monsters we're going to be talking about.
Exactly.
On this podcast. And it's like we got a great monster movie coming out this year. I was like, let's revive the podcast after the one episode we did, so we can have this content for everybody's enjoyment in 2019.
Right, exactly. A little pre-cum, if you will, for what's coming up. What's coming up. With us today, we have our first guest.
Yeah.
What the fuck
hey
is
guys,
your last
name?
What's up, Chris?
My name is Chris. I am their one and only fan who listened to their one episode of City Smashers.
It's amazing. It's like we did one episode.
And I just realized I did not listen to that right. I had one earphone in, and it was just pretty much Matt talking to himself the whole time.
What an ape you are.
And nobody wants to listen.
Yeah.
You could probably say I'm a grape ape while I'm drinking this wine.
That's right.
Grape ape.
So Chris, like, what's your relationship with like kaijus and shit, and any of those? Like, are you a fan or?
I mean, I am a fan. I am Asian also.
There we go. So it's in your blood.
I have to. It's in my blood. It's automatic that I love kaijus.
Yeah,
exactly.
Just a little footnote for everyone listening.
Pogi Boys in the house.
That's right. all Filipino descent in this.
So
it's definitely a Pogi Boy podcast.
It's like if City Smashers evolves and becomes like just the Filipinos talking about everyday stuff.
Yes, please.
I was like, I would not be disappointed.
We don't need no whiteys in this.
That's right.
Just kidding. I love white people.
This is
2019. You gotta.
Disclaimer. Disclaimer. I do love white people.
That's right.
And black people. And all races of people. We're not going to do that.
We can cut this part out, right? We don't need this racism in here.
But City Smashers is back. We got our first guest on the first episode. Second episode if you're a true fan.
That's right. Chris, did you grow up watching like Godzilla movies or anything? Or
movies?
Yeah.
I mean, I did grow up.
You're a movie person.
Yeah, I mean, I do love watching movies, like any type of movies, whether they're monster, sci-fi, fantasy, any type of movies.
Yep.
I mean, King Kong, Godzilla, Pacific Rim, giant robot.
Did you have any like toys and shit?
Oh yeah, like I had like the Megazords from Power Rangers.
Oh shit! You're talking my language.
I mean, Voltron is always great.
Yeah, you're a huge Voltron guy.
Oh yeah, cool. Did you watch that that Voltron show that's
I
on
have not caught up on it.
on
I'm like
Netflix? I only saw like the
two, three
first
seasons.
like 5 episodes.
It is
so-
phenomenal.
It's good,
I
though.
saw the
It's so
pilot, and that's it. The hour
so
long
good.
pilot.
Yeah, it's good.
It's
It's
really
the Avatar guys, right?
DreamWorks.
Yeah,
I know
DreamWorks. Yeah,
Well,
DreamWorks.
no, the
Or-
Avatar
yeah,
Last
yeah.
Airbender.
Yeah, the
guys.
same people who did those did this
Okay.
one. Yeah, I
Gotcha.
believe.
By Avatar, I mean James Cameron's Avatar.
No,
I love those movies. I'm a big fan.
I've seen.
Wait, movies. There's only been one.
There's 5 in my heart.
Well, it's amazing because apparently, like,
There are gonna be
2,
5.
3, and 4 have like already finished filming.
Filming, they just
Yeah,
have
it's
to do the CG for it.
no
yeah.
way.
So, it's like, so you've already got a decade worth of Avatar movies just ready
Mhm.
to blow on us.
That's right.
Shout out to the real Avatar, Avatar: The Last Airbender. You're always
Which
going
is
to hold a
getting its
special
own
place in my
Netflix,
heart.
yeah.
Oh yeah, and isn't Netflix doing a live action one?
Yeah,
that's gonna
Netflix.
be cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I like their
With-
series of unfortunate events.
Oh, yeah, that one's
And
really
so
good,
I was
yeah.
like, okay, they can do like kids live action.
Kids, yeah.
shit.
The original writers are
Are back, yeah,
with,
uh-huh.
Dante Basco.
Oh yeah, is he
Yeah.
back? Is he gonna? Who the fuck is he gonna play? He's old as shit.
I'm guessing. I guess
He's
he might-
definitely not playing Zuko
He's not
because he's
playing
like
Zuko.
50 years old.
My
I know
guy-
he might look like he's like 30, but
Right.
that's just like the Filipino genes.
Yeah.
Well,
I
listen to that.
promise you, within the year, like the Asian genes are gonna just do the
The-
true fall.
Yeah, they're gonna do their takeover. Like, as soon as
where he
you
just
turn
looks like
50.
Master
It's
Roshi and
you
shit,
went
yeah.
from this amazing, beautiful Asian guy. It's like, oh, now you're a 50-year-old Asian guy.
You know what's a good Dante Basco movie? Is The Debut. Have you seen that? Have you seen
I
that?
haven't seen
That's like a good, like just like Filipino movie. Sorry for all the non-Filipinos listening to this, but it's
and
like
if
a
you don't know
good.
who Dante Basco is, he was Rufio in Hook.
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Rufio.
He played every Mexican you know in movies.
Yeah, and
he's
he
not
voiced
Mexican,
Zuko
but
in
yeah.
Avatar: The Last
Uh-huh.
Airbender. And he voiced Uncle Iroh after the original voice actor.
Oh, wait,
Is
did
that
he?
right?
What?
I think in Korra he voiced
Uncle Iroh. Okay,
Okay.
that's cool. I didn't know that.
So-
Yeah, because I know Mako died,
Mhm.
like, and then they got
Ooh,
someone else to
spoilers.
replace him.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
R.I.P.
Good night, sweet prince. Which is amazing. Like Avatar: The Last Airbender is an amazing show.
Yeah, that's
I
just a
did watch
good
this
show.
past.
I never finished Korra because they
I
stopped showing
watched-
it because Nickelodeon
Yeah,
was
I
like
haven't-
scared of showing
Yeah.
homosexual love.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Uh,
all right, just fucking show it. I don't
They just
care.
need to air it on Cartoon Network because they're the complete opposite.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
they can.
I mean,
they don't
that's
give a
what-
shit.
That's what Steven Universe is.
Is that right?
is
I never
all
seen
in,
that show.
Pretty much.
Yeah, that's cool.
But I mean, I bought Legend of Korra Blu-rays. I'm a couple.
I need to
episodes
finish.
in.
I truly need to finish. What is it like season 3 or whatever that they
I think
finished
there's
on?
like 4 seasons. What,
4 seasons.
3?
might be
Avatar:
3.
Last Airbender was only 3 seasons.
Oh, no, but
I
Korra-
think
Korra
before.
was 4.
Chorus,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because I think they did a book for each. element.
Whenever they took it off air and only
Mhm.
threw it to Nickelodeon.com was when I stopped watching. So.
Yeah, I think I watched the pilot on TV when it.
Oh
actually
yeah,
aired.
dude!
And then haven't seen anything
I was in it
since
to win
it's
it.
came
I stuck with it until they
Right.
stopped
It's,
showing it.
You know, and I heard
Like season 2 is fucking bad. Like it's not
bad.
good.
Oh, bad is it? Okay.
Like
because
the
they switched
the
animation
animation
houses.
houses.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they switched
they and it just looks like not good. It looks like what like Dragon Ball Z is, or not Dragon Ball Z, but whatever the new Dragon Ball is now, where it looks like
Super.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
where
kind of like these.
it's just
animated.
cheap. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like the keyframes are just the same. Like they're
Oh,
just
no.
standing still for like 5 seconds, and you're like,
God.
oh, they didn't
Well,
create
I-
anything for them
well,
at
maybe
all.
I won't watch past season 1.
Yeah, there you go. It's good.
Yeah, I mean, I
Uh-huh.
do need to finish that series.
If you're
Because
into the
it is
mythology,
a phenomenal series.
if you're into the mythology, you should keep watching. But season 1 is for sure really great.
Yeah.
Season two is
and
huge
just
drop in
and
quality.
watch all of Avatar: The Last Airbender.
yeah. Avatar: The Last. You know what? I don't think I ever finished Avatar.
Ooh.
Like
I can loan it to you.
I have it.
Oh,
I
do
have
you?
it. Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. I just never finished season 3.
Mhm.
My brother has it,
Oh,
and so
It's a show that's like, man, why did this not last longer?
Mhm.
Because it's like even the filler episodes feel part of the story. Like it still progresses.
especially
story
the one
somehow.
where they go into the canyon and don't do shit for
Sure,
what a that's my
Right.
go-to filler episode whenever I see like a filler episode on any TV show. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh hey, this is the fucking canyon episode from
Oh.
Avatar where nothing matters.
Yeah.
So back to basics. So episode 1 or 2, City
Right,
Smashers. Jay, what's the topic? today?
Godzilla, baby.
Godzilla.
Mhm.
Okay.
Godzilla
King
2014.
of the
uh-huh.
Monsters himself.
We're going
We're
2014,
gonna
the
talk
Gareth
about
Edwards one.
Yeah, Gareth Edwards 2014
Mhm.
Godzilla. First Godzilla movie since Final Wars was the last.
Final
Toho
Wars
one.
was the last,
Was
yeah.
the last Toho, which was 2002, I think.
I think so.
And then Gareth Edwards 12 years later did.
Yeah, what?
2014
That's a
Godzilla.
long
That is a long
time.
time. I haven't done any research into what Toho was
Doing between them.
in between it.
Probably raking in the fucking cash from toys.
which is amazing because most things I see Funimation on, I see Toho's.
Oh
title
yeah.
card on as
So
well.
they were probably just branching off.
Because that
of
same as Shin
Godzilla,
Godzilla, which we plan on talking about in another episode. Funimation, I guess, was brought in to do the English dubbing. Because
Yeah.
I recognize a couple of the English voice
Oh,
actors.
okay. Oh, that's cool. So they use like the same
Yeah.
actors to. I
Right.
didn't know that.
Yeah. Amazing, like going back watching some old Funimation anime. Like the producers on that were the same like voice actors in the show they were.
Oh, that's
And,
cool.
Which is really
Yeah.
cool. Like I don't know how Funimation came about to be. It's like, did these voice actors come together, start a company,
And then
they just kept
kept
evolving
doing,
from there,
uh-huh.
kept doing it from there. It's
That's
it's
kind
like
of-
really cool. If
That's kind of
how
a
they-
good company to.
Yeah.
If you
but
if you're
see,
just like
you see
doing
Funimation
dubs.
on most Western dubbings of
Right,
any
yeah,
anime.
uh-huh.
Like it's
I know I
Funimation.
first heard of it from Dragon Ball Z. Huh?
Yeah.
They did.
I think
yeah.
the first time I ever saw like the Funimation title card was when I watched Full Metal Alchemist.
Which is like they actually had like a different dubbing of Dragon Ball Z before Funimation got it, called
Yep.
like, I don't know if they call it like, if it's officially called that, but my cousin was telling me that they called it the Big Green dub because they don't call Piccolo by his name, they call him Big Green. This is like I guess like the right before Funimation got in, like early 90s or whatever,
yeah,
where they
which is amazing. I mean, I watched Dragon Ball Z as a kid, and
Mhm.
I think when I watched as a kid after school in middle school, it was like the Boo Saga. And I
Yeah.
didn't realize Dragon Ball has been around since the 80s.
Oh yeah,
Fucking
it's super
and
long.
then I
Since
didn't
Dragon Ball.
I
Yeah.
didn't realize.
I mean, it's like what, like
the Dragon
800
Ball Z
episodes?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Z English dubbing has started in like the late 80s.
That's
I was like,
insane. That's so
I was like,
old.
oh, it started before I was born.
Uh-huh,
I was like,
yeah.
Dragon Ball is older than I am.
That's crazy.
And I did watch
And
the-
it's
the
also
Dragon
like
Ball
an
show
integral
as well.
part of like everyone who was born in
Yeah.
that era. Like,
Right, every '90s kid, say mainly guys, like they're gonna
they
default back
to Dragon Ball.
go there. Guys our age know what a Kamehameha wave is.
Oh, yeah.
You know who goes
Spirit Bomb, yeah.
Spirit Bomb, Frieza.
I don't know if we want to talk about you and me's relationship with Godzilla.
Oh,
like, I
right,
don't know.
right.
I don't know if
I
We
mean that's
talk-
in the
yeah.
pilot.
pilot. I don't know. I don't know if we're gonna release that. I don't know if we're gonna release that pilot.
Yeah, I mean we can do that if this is gonna be the official start to
Right, yeah,
City
so-
Smashers becoming a thing.
Yeah. So, in case we never release that shit, how do you know like kaiju's and Godzillas and shit?
My dad was a big Godzilla fan.
Oh yeah.
My dad is a big martial arts movie fan
Uh-huh.
as well. So every time he'd find the channel that had all the martial arts movies, they'd also have the
You guys are
Godzilla-
watching it. Uh-huh.
We're watching that in the Godzilla movies because they'd also air. El Rey was
Yeah,
a big
uh-huh.
network for that. My favorite Christmas is my favorite time of year because on Christmas Day they have the Kaiju Christmas special.
Is that right on
And-
El Rey?
On El Rey.
Oh, man, I need to get that
and
fucking
all
channel.
day they show Godzilla movies.
That's cool.
I was like, that's more of a newer thing though.
Mhm.
But yeah, growing up, I'd watch the Godzilla movies. I mean, I like movie monsters in general.
Right.
As-
Uh-huh.
I like. That's just. I like monsters.
Yeah,
just
sure.
That fantasy element is great. It appeals to my interest. Because usually, and I say this from a nostalgic standpoint, Jurassic Park's my favorite movie. And,
Oh,
and
yeah, uh-huh.
dinosaurs are a big monster,
Mhm.
pretty much.
Yeah, basically, like, I mean,
that's all they are. They're giant monsters.
if they weren't real, they'd be monsters.
Yeah.
Like we'd be calling them
Right.
monsters.
If
But
we
hey,
had
guess
di-
what,
if we had
motherfuckers?
dinosaurs
They're real.
today, and they would be
Uh-huh.
monsters. So I like anything that has to do with movie monsters.
Cool, sweet.
I think Godzilla '98, first Godzilla movie. Like,
Oh,
I could
yeah?
say I saw,
Uh-huh.
which we will also talk about
Yeah,
in a
uh-huh.
later podcast with another special guest because he's very keen on talking about that movie for some reason. I think that I could say that's probably the first Godzilla movie.
Godzilla. I mean, yeah, that was the
I'm a
first
90s
like
kid,
that was the
so.
first like American
Yeah,
Godzilla
that was-
movie for like our age that we
Yeah.
could have ever watched.
I mean, that's the first American Godzilla movie.
They had the toys and shit. I remember like
I had
you
all
go
the
to like
toys.
what was like Taco Bell or like Burger King and you
Yeah,
could get
I
like
remember
a Happy
the
Meal.
cartoon.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
watched
They
the
did have a
of
cartoon.
that.
That's right.
I think I mistake that and the King Kong
They did have a King Kong
Because I
cartoon.
remember
You're right.
the protagonist of that cartoon like could control whichever one, and I can't remember.
Is that right?
I can't remember if like he had like a cerebro machine. It's
Whoa,
like,
what the fuck? I don't remember this at all.
If he could control if he could control Godzilla or he can control
King Kong? No
It's- I
way.
can't remember.
Man, I don't
I can't
remember that
which
shit
one
at
it is.
all.
I get those.
That's cool.
Like much of my other early 2000 like 90s memories. It's like I
Can't remember
They're
it.
foggy.
Yeah, you were an alcoholic. I heard
Exactly.
was what it was.
I was
Yeah,
a 6-year-old alcoholic.
That's right. A regular old rummy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at the age of 5.
Yeah, I got into fucking like kaijus and shit from Power Rangers.
Oh yeah,
That was my shit.
and I could also say that.
Mhm. Yeah.
I was in Mighty Morphin. Power
Uh-huh,
Rangers.
yeah,
that wasn't my introduction.
Where
to
did
Power
you?
Rangers.
Where did you? Because
Mine
I was from
was,
the start.
Yeah, mine was Jungle Fury.
That's too late. That would have been like when you were like 15 or some shit. Are you talking about Wild Force?
Wild Force. Whichever
okay.
one.
That was like
the
2003ish,
red
2002
Power,
maybe.
The red Power Ranger had a lion.
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
The white Power
Leo.
Ranger had a wolf, and for some
Yep.
reason, Pole was like billiards was an integral part of his character. I don't know why, but I remember the villains were really cool.
Yeah.
in Wild Force.
Zenaku, I think, was like the wolf guy who became the Wolf Ranger. Who was,
right.
Yeah.
I was like, so. But I mean, I did see Mighty Morphin at that time. But
right, but you didn't watch
like,
it. Mm.
Like before school every day, I'd watch
They'd show,
Wild Force and Jackie Chan Adventures.
Oh, dude, Jackie
And,
Chan
and, like,
Adventures.
yeah, 2003 TV.
I think that was
TMNT.
yeah. Oh yeah,
Like,
TMNT.
phenomenal.
Right.
But yeah, but that's all I can say.
Mhm.
It's like when Wild Force, like the next Power Rangers I saw was like the Ninja Fury. Like,
Oh,
like the
Ninja
Power Rangers.
Where
it was
Storm.
Ninja
That was
Storm.
when
It was only
Disney
red,
bought
blue.
it.
Yeah, it was only
Yeah.
red, blue, because
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure.
Which
sure
probably
it's-
has like the best theme song of a Power Rangers.
Yeah,
The
I
Ninja
can't-
Storm song
I
is
can't
so
remember.
good.
But it was early. Early.
That was
like
definitely
when Ninja
2003, 2002 ish. Yeah.
came out. Right.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, I came
You-
in.
you were-
I came in. I was a 93 baby, so
Mhm.
I think it came out
You know,
while I was
94
born.
baby. But I guess.
But I was- Yeah. Well, I was in. I lived in Utah
Mhm.
and then Japan, so I think like just like
Right.
watching TV
Yeah,
and
and I
just
was-
fucking
Like my first few years of life were England and Canada.
right.
So,
Yeah.
So I
uh-huh,
watched.
so
So when I was a kid, and like my earliest, foggiest memories of watching cartoons, I was in Canada. At the time.
what
And-
kind of Canadian was that? Like what's that shit called? Obelisk and
No.
asterisks.
No,
That's
it-
French.
it-
I think that's French.
It was,
That's not.
it was some sort of a cartoon channel.
Yeah.
There's I can't remember what it was called, but
That's cool. And yeah, that's always
but,
like
I mean,
a cool
like,
thing
they had
to.
Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Oh yeah,
And that's-
on Cartoon
I mean,
Network and shit.
that-
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's
I
my
remember that.
favorite Cartoon Network show is Courage.
Oh,
So.
I was Dexter's
Maybe
Labs
maybe
guy.
that also ties into why I like movie monsters.
Yeah,
so
there's
much.
monsters in Courage all the time.
Oh,
That's
that's
what
what
the show
Courage
is.
is about.
Yeah, uh-huh. That's a fucked up show.
Oh, it is.
I need to. I remember like being scared of that show.
I love it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I love
I need to
It's my
rewatch it.
favorite
I'm a
Cartoon
fan.
Network cartoon.
But yeah, I definitely like got the bug from Power Rangers just because
Mhm.
they had every fucking like every
Yeah.
episode. There's like a new crazy monster, and the design was always like really good.
Oh,
Especially when I was like
another later. We need to talk about the
Power Rangers movie.
The Power Rangers.
Oh,
movie,
yeah, for sure.
in a
The
later,
new one?
later episode, because
Mhm.
I think all three of us have seen that one.
The new one? Yeah, I've seen
uh-huh,
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the older one?
Oh yeah, we'll
those
do
are
both,
great.
baby.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
I mean, you'll need to give me the source.
Was
So
it
I
the
can
first-
watch
It's on
it.
Netflix, I
Yeah,
think.
first
Yeah.
Power Rangers movies, and there's
Is
Power
it?
Rangers Turbo.
Yeah.
Those are
Oh
great
my
movies.
god, dude! Don't even get me fucking started.
All right, we're supposed to be talking
I
about.
know.
Yeah, but then like after Power Rangers, like just being like really impressed by the monsters, like
Mm.
I moved to Japan and the toy section is all fucking Godzilla. It's all Godzilla and like Zoids. They don't really have like
Right.
they had like GI Joe like on base like in the American stores,
Sure.
but the Japanese stores were just
that
fucking
was Zoids was another thing. I
Mhm,
watched
yeah.
after
It was
school.
just
I love
fucking.
Zoids.
It was
'Cause
just
after
Godzilla and
school
Zoids.
and like late elementary and middle school,
Mhm.
I'd watch Zoids and Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z.
Right,
whichever was airing at the time. Zoids was cool.
Yeah,
I like Zoids.
I remember like looking at their toys and they were fucking expensive. So I was just like,
For
I'm just
sure.
gonna look at these.
I
But they
think,
had like Ultraman toys and
yeah.
Godzilla toys, and I was just like, these are the monsters that like that are in it. Like this is insane.
Mhm.
And then like apparently like that I come to find out that like that's like their culture. Like that's the shows that they had from
Right.
since the 70s.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, this is crazy. So like I got heavy deep into like Godzilla, Ultraman, all the like kaiju shit that they had over
But
there.
do you think Godzilla started that? Because Godzilla's been around since the
no
50s.
question. Yeah, since
Yeah.
what was it, like 54
So
was the
like
first movie
was
came out?
was the very first Godzilla. So I guess they built an identity around that because
Right,
of
yeah.
the
Uh-huh.
popularity of it. But I mean, the original Godzilla has a message behind it. There's
Yeah,
a reason why that movie
as
came
does
about.
the new 2014 one. Maybe
Oh, yeah.
like the
Because I was trying to think about that when I did my last watch. It's like, what's
the
the
2014 one was also the same thing that we were talking about this off mic, but
the tsunamis,
the tsunami and
really?
the
That
yeah,
makes sense. It's just
it's because that was in
'cause-
like 2011, I think. Yeah,
for sure.
And so yeah, like obviously you're gonna go to that for an influence, and
Mhm.
we'll go into that later
Right.
when we get into our review. But yeah, like Godzilla like permeates that fucking culture, man.
Yeah.
And so like the entire time I was living there, I was just getting like mainlined straight to the veins, fucking Godzilla,
Mhm.
everything, and yeah.
I think they have like a Godzilla statue in Tokyo somewhere. Like
Is
next,
that right?
Next to
That's
Tokyo
cool.
Tower. And
That's
it's
cool.
like,
I know they
it's
they
like
had
a quarter up it.
they had
It's
like a
that big.
they had a Gundam one that they had. I
Oh,
think they
that's
took
right.
it down. I
saw
think they
that.
took it
Yeah.
down though.
I think around Christmas they put that up.
Yeah,
something like
they
that.
took it down.
I think
I heard.
it was like in GameStop, and they had some sort. I can't remember what convention it was, but they had a giant Godzilla Funko Pop.
Oh, that's cool.
I was like, oh,
yeah.
that's really cool. I mean, it's like 8 to 10 feet tall. It's
Yeah.
I mean, that's a Funko Pops are a monster of their own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, huh? Because they make those like supersized ones or whatever.
Yeah,
That's
right.
cool.
Yeah, but they actually had like a really big size, like oversized.
Oh
Godzilla,
shit!
Godzilla
Like a
Funko Pop.
legit.
Yeah, like 10 foot
Oh
tall
wow! I
Godzilla
thought you were talking
Funko
about just
Pop.
like 2 feet. Damn,
no,
son.
no. Yeah, I mean you can find those. But,
Uh-huh.
I mean there was a special one.
That's cool. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's just something about Godzilla that, just that gargantua that
Yeah.
people fuck with.
It's much like other pop culture icons. I mean that's what it is. It's a pop
Mhm.
culture icon. Anybody can recognize
Right?
Godzilla.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
People know.
You put that silhouette up.
Yeah.
Who's
people-
that Pokemon? You fucking
yeah,
know who
right.
that is.
People know what Godzilla is,
Uh-huh.
and that's also fascinating. It is the king of the monsters.
Right, yeah,
There's no monster that competes with it except monsters in its own universe.
Uh-huh.
Like, I mean, I'm sure people know who Mothra and King Ghidorah is, and that sort of
Put-
stuff.
Listen, I've been saying this for years.
Uh-huh.
Put Godzilla in Super Smash Brothers, guys.
Yeah, please. DLC patents.
Oh, that's right.
Godzilla. No, he's too big. He's too big for. Hey, if Ridley was too big for Smash, I'm sure Godzilla. You know, they can put Manila in.
There we
No,
go.
but a
yeah.
good,
let him shoot the rings.
Yeah. A good cameo of Godzilla though was I was surprised to see him in My Hero Academia movie.
Oh, I never
that's
saw that.
right.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
haven't seen that yet.
Oh, you guys haven't seen?
Yeah,
Yeah, he
Godzilla.
did make a appearance.
That's the
appearance on there.
anime,
He was one of the
right?
heroes. Yeah.
Mhm.
But I heard about that before the movie came out. They took Godzilla, and in that world, it's people with quirks. They have people born with superpowers, and somebody had a superpower that turned him into
Godzilla,
That's
yeah.
And he
cool.
was a professional hero.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
cool.
I was like,
fun.
that's phenomenal.
That's cool.
And he's like wearing like what I'd akin to like a Naruto jacket.
Yeah, like a
Oh,
little
really?
cape. Like
Yeah, he has
like,
pants on. I was like, he throws up a peace sign. He's out. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, I still need to watch that, and now I only want to watch it for him.
Yeah, I've never seen that My Hero Academia show.
It's good. I can vouch for it.
Solid show and a solid movie.
That's always the thing that I've been slacking on is animes. I mean, yeah, for someone that lived in Japan, I never fucking watched that shit.
Right.
You know what? It's because they didn't. When I lived there, they didn't have subtitles.
Okay.
They didn't have dubs
Oh,
either.
Sure.
So it was just the straight show,
Yeah,
and I was like,
somebody-
I
This is
definitely
someone
don't
who
understand
who
this
doesn't
shit.
Fluently speak
Yeah, I was
Japanese or
like
understand
5 years
Japanese.
old. I'm like, this looks cool. I'll watch.
Don't
it.
understand
Oh yeah,
what
that
they're
was
saying.
also a cool thing about Japan in their toy section, they always had a TV that was showing whatever the fuck the toy that they were selling.
Okay.
So like if it was like like a bin of Godzilla toys for like 100 yen that you could just like pick one out, they would be showing that fucking movie. And I'm like, man,
shit.
like I'm seeing
So you're
this
looking in the
occurring
Godzilla.
and I'm like, oh, this is that
You're
guy.
looking in the Godzilla bin, there's Mothra in there, and you look up
Right.
the Mothra movies.
Yeah,
playing,
exactly. Like
yeah.
they're showing Ultraman, and I'm like, oh, here's Baltan Saijan. Like he's right here in my hands. I'm
Yep.
what a great marketing campaign. Like, America, you're fucking
You're
slacking,
right.
dude.
Get on 90s.
Get some TVs.
Get on 90s Japanese market. Well, that was a big thing. Like I remember, like, you know, as a kid, like going into Walmart and like in the video game section, them having one video game demos.
Yeah, that you could play. They don't have
And
that
then
anymore, which is insane.
Just on air demos or trailers of the biggest video game or toys that are.
Yeah, I so specifically remember playing those demos because my brother would always be with me, and he'd always have to pee, and I'd be like, dude, I'm not taking you to the bathroom. You're gonna have to hold it. I'm sorry. I'm in the middle of playing this beautiful Joe demo. Like,
what a golden era that was, because I remember McDonald's having Nintendo 64 games.
Oh, really? I don't remember
they
that.
had like video games set up.
Yeah, I
that.
remember Kirby 64. Kirby 64 going in like, oh yeah, this is the only time I played Kirby.
That's cool. I didn't know they had that.
McDonald's used to have like.
I remember Burger King used to have those fucking like Xbox 360 exclusive game, Sneak King and whatever the fuck it was, and I was like, they're really leaning into this creep factor.
I mean, Microsoft picking Burger King as their like, fast food mascot.
They
versus
fucked up.
Ronald McDonald.
R.I.P. Ronald McDonald, by the way, man. I haven't seen him in like 20 years.
I mean, I still feel like I see Grimace and Hamburglar more than I see Ronald.
Really? I haven't seen any of like the McDonald's crew.
Yeah,
they need to bring them back.
Yeah,
they could sell so many fucking toys. They're fucking apes.
Just based on the nostalgia factor.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's been like 20 years since they've been around.
It's time for a reboot.
The little bench outside with Ronald McDonald.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Picture with Ronald. Oh man. Maybe Super Size Me is a good City Smashers podcast episode.
That real monster, the McDonald's Corporation. Oof. We'll watch the Roy Kroc biopic, The Founder.
Yeah. Oh my god,
what a monster!
Yeah. Oh god. No, we're talking about Godzilla today.
That's right. We'll get to Godzilla right after the break.
Yeah.
We'll see you there. Bye. Bye. Papa Matt?
Oh, Papa. Oh, hey there, Jay. What's wrong?
I want to watch something on the TV and I can't figure out what to watch.
You want to watch the TV? Jay, we have internet though.
What? Internet, Papa?
Internet.
Internet? I can get on internet with parental supervision?
Yeah, you don't even need parental supervision, Jay. You can just go in and watch whatever you want.
Ooh.
Actually, go on the internet right now and go watch some Blur-Reel.
Blur-Reel? What's that?
Blur-Reel. It's the #1 source of online entertainment.
Ooh, I like entertainment.
Oh yeah, they've got all those shorts and gaming videos and podcasts.
Podcast? What kind of podcast?
I don't know. There's a little something on there called City Smashers.
Sounds good.
Oh, it's real good, Jay. After you watch that, you'll be a grown man.
Ooh, okay.
Why don't you go over there and watch it right now?
I will. But first, can you change my diaper?
You bring that little bum over here.
The world is beset by the appearance of monstrous creatures, but one of them may be the only one who can save humanity. Directed by Gareth Edwards, 2014's Godzilla.
I was working at the movie theater at the time, so we watched it the night before it released. We got the preview, and I absolutely adored it.
You were okay. That's cool.
Also, when the teaser first came out, I guess it was
the Comic-Con one. Or the just the regular,
it was just showing like a destroyed city, and all you could see was Godzilla's silhouette in the smoke. Like I remember getting chills from that teaser.
Yeah,
I remember getting chills in the movie theater watching that movie because I was so excited for it.
Yeah, I remember when it was coming out. I remember just being like really hyped for it. Just because, I mean, yeah, like we were saying earlier, Godzilla hadn't been fucking around for forever.
12 years if Final Wars was
That's crazy.
2002, 2004.
I think it's
So about
2004.
More
is
than
what-
a decade for sure.
Yeah,
About a decade for sure.
that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, crazy, but now we're getting like Godzilla movies like every other 2 years. So, which is it was just a little lull.
Shin Godzilla 2015, 2016.
2016, I think.
2016,
Yeah,
and then King of the Monsters.
King of
which
Monsters
is
coming
this
up. Yeah,
year. So he's been
coming back.
Recent.
Yeah. Yeah, but that 2014 one, I remember just because like I had been a Gareth Edwards fan. I had seen that
because he did Monsters.
he did Monsters. Yeah,
which is I think is a movie I went back to try to watch. It was on Netflix, and I wasn't getting into it.
Oh,
yet
really?
at some
I remember
point.
when I watched that like the first time,
I
whenever
think he
it
did a
came out.
sequel
I had
to
just
it.
it wasn't. I think he produced the sequel, but
Okay.
it wasn't him. Yeah, but yeah, I remember just like hearing about like, hey, there's a new monster movie, like a giant monster, and I was like, what the fuck, like. We're going back to
Honestly,
Kaiju's? Hell yeah, let me watch that.
Like with so like Colin Trevorrow has done
Jurassic World, yeah,
and J.A. Barona did too. I was like, give Gareth Edwards the third one.
Oh yeah,
'Cause,
he
he
hasn't,
obviously knows monsters,
and he knows scale too.
Yeah,
like
he
that's
knows scale really
one of the things that I really wanted to like harp on
Mm-hmm.
when talking about this movie is that like Gareth Edwards knows scale. Like if you watch this might be like the best movie to watch if you're like interested in framing and like the size of people versus other things. Because like if you watch like a lot of like modern blockbusters today, like sometimes you kind of get lost like how big such and such is.
Yeah, usually they have like one scene of like regular people, and it pans up to show you like how
big.
But it gives you more like, oh yeah, you understand he's bigger, but it doesn't give you an accurate scale
Right,
to how big he is.
And when you're watching Godzilla, you're like, oh, he's every shot that he's in, he looks fucking humongous.
Because at the time, 2014, that was the latest Godzilla movie, and that was the biggest Godzilla until Shin Godzilla.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
Yeah, I mean that's why I feel Toho like, oh, America can't have the biggest Godzilla.
We gotta
came out like, okay, so Shin Godzilla is the biggest Godzilla,
right?
at
Yeah,
over 100 something meters or something like that. So yeah, and we're talking about this off mic earlier. I feel like Shin Godzilla and Gareth Edwards Godzilla like know how to scale a monster.
Exactly.
And I'm
yeah.
not sure what the monsters look like. I know they're like
They were shot exclusively from the human POV, so it was like from bottom up.
right.
But if I recall that movie, you don't really see the monsters.
Yeah, you
until
don't
the very
see them
end,
at all. Yeah.
or something
Very
like that.
similar
Yeah.
to,
Yeah,
like,
And
Cloverfield.
yeah.
Which I gotta say, like, no thank
Which
you
is
to-
also
there's
something
another
that
one
happens, which like a lot of people didn't like about this new Godzilla, like Godzilla 2014, is that you don't really see him a lot.
That is my
which-
big gripe of the
That's the thing that I kind of really like about it.
Yeah, same
Is
here.
that
I really
you're-
enjoy it.
Yeah.
Right before this, I was reading something. It was on IMDb that Gareth Edwards took a similar approach as Jaws.
Where you don't
see Jaws, but you know what it is, and you know it's
he's there.
conscious entity, but you don't get to really see it. But I can tell you, the first time I watched 2014 Godzilla, and you got to see Godzilla,
when you finally do,
I was,
That
I was on the
impact.
edge of my seat,
Oh,
and
boy.
the chill, the feeling was
that's
real.
that's
I
what
was like,
it's
and that was
about.
and that was a great pay.
That's what it's about.
But
Is
then
you gotta
you didn't get
a little
consistent-
foreplay.
But then after that, you don't get consistent looks at Godzilla either.
Oh yeah,
That's
sure.
But see, what I was like when I was watching the movie, the way I thought about it is that the monsters are their own thing, and the human plot, the perspective that we're getting it from, it's like completely separate.
It is.
Than what it is.
Completely
So-
separate plot.
Which is
Yeah.
honestly what every Godzilla movie is, except for I want to say Shin Godzilla.
Yeah.
Like if you watch like all the old Godzilla movies, it's kind of just like, all right, here's the human story, here's the monster story.
yeah.
Right. Yeah, because like the last two, Final Wars, I guess, is pretty much that. I mean, Final Wars is all about the monsters, pretty much. But Tokyo SLS was about the rebuilding of Mecha Godzilla.
Right,
So it was a lot of that, a lot of this guy in his place and Mothra's appearance.
Right. Yeah.
But you're right. I mean, Shin Godzilla was right from the get-go.
Yeah, Shin Godzilla, it's where it's true. That's the only Godzilla movie I think that truly
It's
is
all about
intertwined
Godzilla.
about
Right,
Godzilla.
the human plot and the whereas 2014 the Gareth Edward
It does separate it, but that's also a thing that I really like the human plot about, because I mean I'm a sucker for like any like young parent type thing, and then just like them trying to figure out what the fuck Godzilla is, like them the scientist, him going to his dad. It's just like a good cast also.
So great casting. My thing, I felt like they dwelled on it a little too much at some points. There's just some parts like let's move past.
Let's go to Godzilla again.
Well, not necessarily that. It's like, man, they are dragging on this. And when I was doing my last rewatch, I was taking some notes last night. It's like, so in this movie, I guess do we need to set up like any of the so Bryan Cranston?
Yeah, let's
Taylor Johnson, Elizabeth Olsen, Watanabe, Sally Hawk. Yeah, again, phenomenal cast.
It's a great cast.
Phenomenal casting of people.
With all like character actors too. Like none of these actors are leads.
Sure.
And so like
but like because I mean I feel like the plot was focused on Aaron Taylor Johnson's character the most, but I could say Ken Watanabe had like a lot of
they're almost equal screen time with Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Again, the way I thought about it is that the humans were like they were just there for exposition and just to move the movie along, because again, ultimately it's just a monster movie in the end. Which
you knew there was going to be some monsters fighting.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Which is what you're.
I was like, oh wow, you can't have 2 hours of just the monsters fighting.
Yeah,
that'd be a very expensive.
That's what I was gonna say. I was like, I feel like they were very smart with the amount of. I mean, I feel like it's a big critique that a lot of people have, but I feel like they did a really good job of keeping the monsters away, just to like. Objectively save money. Right. You cannot have that much like monster in it without having to pay like the CG artists.
And now thinking back to that, and then thinking about the upcoming movie, which has
a bunch of monsters.
New monsters. Three new confirmed monsters. So apparently there's talks like
that there might be more. That's not it. It's because they made so much money off of this one that they have the cash flow now.
Like, Ghidorah's not the big bad like the trailers are making him out.
That's crazy to me, because to me he's the ultimate big bad.
It's like there's so many good like evil monsters they can really throw out there. So we'll get to that a bit a little bit later. You're right, because I think if you go on YouTube and look up like all the Godzilla parts of 2014, it's only about 8 minutes worth of screen time.
Right.
Versus you watch like a Disney like Marvel movies that's almost like all CGI pretty much.
Right.
And it's like that. I mean, that's a very, very expensive movie. And it's like the only real CGI in 2014 Godzilla was Godzilla himself in the movies.
And that's like another thing that a lot of people didn't like the Mutos. I really like the Mutos.
Yeah,
like
just my last rewatch, which I did last night. I was like, wow, these are a great introduction. I mean, a lot of people pull from nostalgia, of course.
Sure, they wanted to see.
Like, these are really good new.
Yeah, I liked them because I didn't know that they were in the fucking movie. Yeah. Like watching the trailers and shit, I was like, oh, it's a Godzilla movie, right? And then Godzilla doesn't show up until like 40 minutes into the movie.
I gotta give it to Legendary's marketing, because all the marketing in the movie did not reveal their other monsters.
That they were in it,
because the very pinnacle imagery in that is the Halo drops.
Of
them shooting in. And in the original trailer, you just saw Godzilla stomping around the city.
That was
in
it.
The actual movie, you see him fighting in the same exact scene, fighting a different monster.
And we had no idea about that until we watched the movie, which is great. Yeah, like the Mutos are really good. Like they're the monster. Aren't they the monster that start the movie off? Like when they're in the Philippines.
Right. Yeah,
and then
they're in the Philippines, and they're Ken Watanabe and his assistant
Sally Hawkins.
Can't remember the exact reason of what brought them there to the Philippines.
I think it was like an earthquake or something.
I think they just uncovered the bones.
So there was a radiation spike there, and so they thought it was like a deposit of uranium. That's when they started digging. But then there was a cave in. There was a cave in. They called them Monarch. Because they called Monarch because they found some other stuff in there. So that's when they found the skeletons and the spores. Spores.
That's also like a thing. I like when I was rewatching it the most recent time, I was like, every location they go to in this movie,
Mhm.
I fucking been in.
Oh yeah.
And I was like,
I forgot
specifically,
the very first scene. I
Mhm.
forgot what the very first scene of the movie was.
Yeah.
I thought it immediately jumped into Bryan Cranston.
Bryan
I
Cranston.
thought
No,
it was
yeah,
them.
it's like
I was
them.
oh, it's they're in the Philippines.
And I want to say I was in the Philippines in 1999, like at
Holy
some
shit.
point. And I was like, when I was
Right.
watching this, I was like, holy shit, I've been there.
Because the movie starts immediately after like Chris was saying, they find spores. They
Mm-hmm.
find one spore. They're getting some spikes off of it. No, they find one intact spore. And then
they found one.
so-
they one
so they
intact
found-
spore, but then one hatched
They
already.
found a hatched spore
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
in the remains of a giant fossilized.
Which
Right,
that
uh-huh.
was never revealed if it was another Godzilla or another
Yeah,
we
Kaiju.
have
Yeah.
no idea what monster that was. And
Yeah.
then you see
Yeah, what a fucking cliffhanger! Like, what a tease!
Actually, think of like that is like very Toho Godzilla,
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
especially in some of the later ones, like finding Godzilla's bones.
Right? Yeah.
And then you find this wreckage and of the Philippines, and all of a sudden that leads into the water.
Right.
So,
Uh-huh.
and
And then it goes into that great fucking
That-
intro
yes.
credits where it's like redacted names and stuff like that. That's so good.
Yeah, that when I did write notes down for
Mhm.
what we're going to talk about, that was one of my things I wrote. The title card is great, and then when
Uh-huh.
it
Oh,
finally
yeah.
gets to Godzilla, you see this like dust. Like
Oh yeah.
behind it.
Uh-huh.
I'm a sucker for all good animation,
Mhm.
even title cards.
Yeah, dude.
Even
I'm
end credits.
I'm a huge slut for like any
Yeah.
like title
Uh-huh.
sequences at
Yeah,
all. So
so that was really good. But after the Philippines thing, they're kind of like wondering where did it go, and also
Mm-hmm.
the next shot you see is
Bryan
this-
Cranston.
This great like wide shot of Japan, and
Mhm.
coming in, so you see Mount Fuji.
which is also another
Janira, I think.
that
is
yeah
where
that
it
that
is.
fucking scene, that whole sequence is also a great way to start. You've got two good intro scenes, like two
Mhm.
good prologues back to back,
Yeah.
and like
Oh, but the redacted stuff, yes,
Uh-huh.
the them hiding.
Uh-huh.
was-
but
as a
that
theme.
that Bryan Cranston young scene where
Mhm.
it's him and Juliette Binoche, who is also like, what a crazy, like they got like a fucking heavy hitter character actor
Mhm.
to play the mom for like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And
Right.
she does fucking great. Like the part where she's like, "Oh, we didn't make it." I'm fucking like bawling, and it's like 6 minutes into the
She
movie.
saved Ray's for
Uh-huh. Yeah,
you know.
that's a great scene, and also ties into
It sets
what were we
up
talking
Bryan
about?
Cranston's character
Yeah, uh-huh.
very well. Like the whole beginning, he's very work obsessed.
Right.
He's very paranoid about whatever these
Mhm.
spikes are at this nuclear plant he's working at.
yeah.
I'm not too sure what his job, his character.
I think he like was like whatever,
He was
like
some kind of
lead
engineer
nuclear.
or something.
Yeah, uh-huh.
But
like-
you know, he was very concerned with whatever these spikes.
It definitely ties into the 2011 earthquake tsunami that
Mhm.
happened with the nuclear power plants over there, and
Yeah.
that like just to give a POV of that was fucking frightening.
yeah.
Because and yeah, Godzilla does very well with theming. Like
Right,
Godzilla's
uh-huh.
themed after something. Yes, he's this
Mhm.
movie monster, but he, it's there's usually a statement about what Godzilla is, or what the purpose of Godzilla is.
Right. Uh huh.
And I mean, I knew of the ones that happened in the mid 2010s. I didn't. I completely forgot there was like an early. I didn't know.
Well, no. Well, that
Or
that one
the
was
same-
that
was the
that's
same one?
they,
Gotcha.
they were referencing that one, even though it took
Gotcha.
place in like '98 or whatever
Sure.
or whatever. But
Mhm.
that's the one that they were referencing.
Yeah. And yeah, so sets up the main family.
Mm-hmm.
of the
Yeah.
movie, pretty much. It's the very first scene set up the very two main characters, overarching the franchise, the Monarch organization,
Yeah,
which
uh-huh.
we see in later in this monster
In
verse.
In Kong and
Mhm.
futurely
So
in
it set them up
Godzilla
very
2.
well. And then Bryan Cranston and his son, which
Mhm.
is Aaron Taylor Johnson in the movie. Very emotional way to start the movie. We actually see a nuclear power plant, crumble to the ground.
Yeah.
They had to. The mom realized that if they didn't quarantine her, then the radiation was going to get out to the city.
Yeah, she like had
she
to.
sacrificed
Yeah, she
herself,
had
right?
to get iced.
Mm-hmm.
But that scene where Bryan Cranston had to close that door
Oh,
breaks my heart
Yeah,
every
uh-huh.
single time.
Oh, man.
just more akin to Bryan Cranston as a phenomenal
Actor,
Good actor, yeah, huh?
Yeah, again,
I mean-
method actor, character actor.
I mean, I gotta say, like, with the dramatic role he takes in Malcolm in the Middle, it's just
Oh yeah, right. Oh,
there was actually a
his role is so good that what's his name? Who plays Malcolm? Can't remember. his
Frankie
name.
Muniz.
Frankie
Frankie
Muniz,
Muniz doesn't remember anything about it.
No, yeah, I remember there was it was like, you know, post Breaking Bad when Bryan Cranston started getting like huge. He did like this movie, I feel like it was called like Wakefield or something like that. It was a dramatic movie. It was about a guy who like leaves his family to pretend that like he like either died or like went missing, and he just like he like moves into like he moves into like an empty house across the street and
what
like
the fuck?
watches them to see how they would like react. It's like a really dramatic movie.
Man,
And when I saw that trailer, I was like, yeah, this is really dramatic.
wow,
Sounds like a Malcolm in the Middle episode where Hal is just tired of his family and moves across the street.
man, it sounds like
I was like, this is a fucking Malcolm in the Middle episode.
Psychosis. I'm wondering, how are people going to react when I'm gone?
I was like, this could be a great Malcolm in the Middle
Oh my
episode.
god, that's what Godzilla 2014 is.
Yeah, that's
It's
the same.
lost Malcolm
Same
in the
universe.
Middle. Exactly.
And like an interesting thing that I found about their performances, I mean, phenomenal performances and like a really known cast and stuff, but their parts didn't matter for the movie. Which was great though, because you're getting these wonderful performances by them, and then like you see them acting and you get all these emotional instances and everything, but in the end, like Godzilla versus the Mutos, like their parts
I'd say
were very significant.
It was
significant
except for
and,
Ford like destroying the eggs and shit.
Yeah.
That was like
and Ken Watanabe and Sally Hawkins, because as we've seen in the trailers for the new one, they're back.
They're back. But again, so you brought up the point to where what was his name? I forget.
Which one? Aaron Taylor Johnson?
Aaron Taylor Johnson. The part where he destroys the eggs and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The whole movie, I realized the whole movie, the monsters were just doing their own thing. There is no interaction between them and the humans until that point. So that's another part that offers to the scale of these monsters. Like
they don't fucking care.
Yeah,
They're
they don't
ants.
care.
Goes back
We're
to
ants.
The whole
Yeah.
theming thing. Like man can't control nature.
Right.
Which is what old Shin Godzilla in this one is about.
Right.
Like nature is devastating, and man can't control
do
it
anything
in any way as much as they really want to. So they just have to abide to what's going on.
Just have to fucking survive.
Survive.
Yeah, and they're always one step behind whatever planning, because like most of the problems they had to fix, like the nuclear warhead or whatever, that was their own causes. And the monsters were just going to do their own thing. Duke it out in the end.
They did not care about the humans whatsoever, and that played into what they set up as Godzilla's character being the alpha predator.
Which is what a cool like phrase.
Which is a great way to put it. Alpha feeds off radiation. As soon as it detects a change in the balance of nature, it is on the job to go bring down.
He's like, all right, on the clock.
Just woke up. Time to go take care of some big old bugs. Fucking Starship Troopers is going to be a fucking great city smash.
Man. I just rewatched that. Like, no joke. I just rewatched that. Yeah. It was on like Vice or some shit. Yeah, no, the movie is fucking great. Like, honestly, like that might be my go-to movie for if you're at all like trying to look at like visual gags, because like the way that Gareth Edwards, like, all right, probably his most famous gag is in Rogue One, where you see the Star Destroyer. It's like coming out from the shadows, and you think it's stars behind him, but then the light comes in, and you're like, oh, that's the fucking Death Star. And just the way that he plays with like how light hits something, and you're like, oh, I didn't even realize that was already in frame. And so like that's in Godzilla, that happens so many times where like, say like a Muto, because their power was like EMP. And so like the lights will start turning on and the camera follows them. And then all of a sudden, oh, right here already is the Muto that you just didn't even see because the lights weren't on.
And
it does that.
Scene, in 2014 Godzilla is where they're on Hawaii looking for a nuclear Russian sub is missing. And it's like for some reason they see it's in Hawaii and they're looking around. They find the sub and just hanging out in the trees, and all of a sudden, what's behind it? It's the Muto.
Oh, right, exactly.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's like really good. It's not even like it's like the most advanced version of a jump scare, where it's like not something just popping out at you. It's something that's already been there, and you just didn't realize it was there yet.
Mm-hmm.
The whole Hawaii sequence is probably
really good.
My favorite part.
The fucking tsunami part fucks me up. So like I get really
seeing,
depressed watching that.
Yeah, knowing that Godzilla, like seeing the fish just beached up on a low tide for some reason. Like
there was also a
and then the dog running away.
Yeah, dude, the dog running.
It's like, oh no, this is my worst fear.
There's a part at the beginning of that sequence that I didn't see until like maybe like 2 times watching it beforehand, where Godzilla is like heading straight for when they're on the battleships, the Monarch people. He's going straight towards them, and then he dives under them, and so he disappears. And you just
see the spotlight,
and you see the spotlight, and then the next shot is it's him breaching out of the water, but it's not. What it is it's 3. You see his fins. It's not his fins. It's 3 battleships in the shape of his fins, and then that gets pushed out, and it's Godzilla underneath. And I was like, holy shit! Like it already looks like Godzilla when you're looking at it, and then it's actually Godzilla when he comes out. And I was like, man, this is just good visual imagery. Like
the
way that he's setting up these gags is really good.
The cinematography,
phenomenal. It's good, man.
Which leads into the first time you see Godzilla,
his foot.
Seeing his foot, you see which is a great just panning shot because it's inside the airport. You see the Muto airplane start going up. You see just his foot.
Right, yeah. It's like it's set up like it's the POV of the humans watching the Muto just fuck shit up from the inside. It pans to the right, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, Godzilla's foot is right there.
Yep. And something else that like immediately before that, you see a guy like run behind the front wheel of an airplane, and I thought it was really good. Like you just see him looking at something, also water's coming in. Like,
oh gosh, Jesus!
I was like, oh, Godzilla's here. It was like because the water followed him wherever he was going, and the remember the chills of it just pan up. Of Godzilla and seeing his face and his roar for the first time, and it just finishes in this snarl. I was like, "Oh my god, this is the
design
monster.
of Godzilla in this is really good." Like, like I mean, we all grew up on the normal, but this one looks like truly like a real animal, like that you would actually see. Less T-Rex, more fucking just like bear.
Yeah, he's more chunkier, just like has more mass to him.
The designs were based off bears and Komodo dragons.
Oh yeah.
And it leads me to Toho loved 2014 Gareth Edwards Godzilla.
Yeah.
The Japanese public did not like the design.
Oh really? Yeah.
They think he was too fat, like everything else in it.
Oh,
They didn't care. They didn't like how chunky he was.
That's a bummer.
I was like, but I love it. I love his. He has a very rectangular style.
Yeah, he looks like a fucking offensive lineman. Like he's huge.
He looks like he's hard to take down.
Yeah.
And it got away from that like Harryhausen stop motion.
Right.
Where the idea of a T-Rex was it stood upright with its tail dragging on the ground, whereas Jurassic Park I think was like the first movie to show that.
It uses the tail to balance.
Yeah, it uses the tail to balance and it's very horizontal. This Godzilla is, it's not too much like that. It's still walks very upright.
It's like you were saying, a bear with a fucking big ass tail.
Yes, that's pretty much exactly.
Yeah,
what it is.
Which is fucking scary.
Yeah, one of my favorite Godzilla designs.
It's cool. I'm a fan of it.
But yeah, that first snarl, and then. You really don't see much of Godzilla till much later. You figure out there's not just one Muto. There's one
and it does that classic fucking one up when you meet the second Muto where you're like, oh, I have wings now, bitch. Like you're like, oh shit.
The first one
had wings. The second one was just huge.
You realize, much like insects, it's the female. And
right,
it's much
that's
bigger,
the big one.
But it can't fly. I just love it. Like the first time you see it, I know the actor that plays the admiral, the Navy admiral in the movies.
Yeah, David Strathairn.
Yeah, they're just like sitting on it, and you see this like just another Muto like climbing up this like fake Eiffel Tower in Las Vegas, just swinging on it. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, like that was just like having been to like truly like every single one of those locations when I was like, holy shit, like they're really I was like, man, I've been to that Honolulu airport like when I was a kid. I've been to fucking Vegas. I was like San Francisco I've been to, and I was like specifically Little Tokyo when they had like the big battle at the end when they're going to kill the eggs. I was like I fucking went to that Burger King that's like right off Little Tokyo. Like I've fucking been there.
What was there's a casino in Honolulu, like when the public in Hawaii they're first looking at Godzilla as it comes ashore. You see this red.
Oh yeah,
I think it was a Golden Nugget casino.
Oh, is it really? Yeah.
I can't remember. I thought
That's
it was
funny.
like a grand casino.
Yeah,
I know.
I know.
Us being southern Mississippi Gulf Coast guys and casinos somehow
right,
permeated.
Like,
we've seen that casino before. We've seen that kind of casino before.
Yeah, no, I remember just being like, holy shit, like that. I can really picture it now that I realize that I've been to all those fucking places. But
and then after we get to see Godzilla, the Muto, I do like some of the scenes that like kind of show Godzilla. Like I like when the kid is like watching it on TV.
Oh yeah, that's another good thing that this movie does is it shows like the perspective of Godzilla, not like actual just like a movie shot of Godzilla. It shows that person's POV of what, especially like there's a scene where Elizabeth Olsen's character sees like Godzilla and Muto like fighting for the first time, and they're running into like whatever the shelter, and the door closes on them, and you're just like trying to like barely see.
Because that was the first time that they actually like met face to face, like both Mutos and Godzilla.
And that was also another marketing change from.
It was just Godzilla in the trailer.
Again, you just saw Godzilla like roaring towards them. And this time you saw it's like again good marketing. There's none of this. What's that new dog movie coming about? Where
the one where they fucking showed the whole movie.
The whole movie.
They leave the movie at the end of the dog. This new Homeward Bound.
Away Home or something like
where
that.
the dog at the end of the trailer, the dog fucking comes back, and you're like, okay, yeah, we knew that was coming, but like, you didn't have to show us. Yeah, no, that was cool.
Then, after that, it's just a lot of exposition of how the people are gonna deal with it. Spoiler alert: a bomb.
You're right. Yeah.
What else? A megaton bomb.
Yeah. What else?
Yeah. And then the troubles of them trying to get that bomb to there, deciding, oh no, we can't blow up this bomb here. And then trying to get rid of the bomb because
having to get it away.
I think the Muto took the bomb.
Yeah, the Muto took the bomb to like raise the eggs.
Yeah. Which I did not get. So in the bridge scene, the Muto didn't take the bomb, but then they finally took the bomb after they were in San Francisco.
I think
when during the bridge scene,
it takes one of the bombs or something like that.
It took the bomb,
but they have another bomb. They have another bomb that they're going to use to destroy it.
Wait, so was it? I don't know. I guess was it two bombs? One to lure, one to blow them up.
Because the bomb that the Muto took was the one on the boats, like an EMP.
The one that it already had.
Oh,
it's the one where they see it coming out of the sky, it just goes underwater with it, and it comes back and has the bomb in it.
Which is another good scale for that movie. Right? Because you don't realize how big the flying one is until that scene.
Yeah, you're right.
Doing stuff with like EMP stuff, people like I guess maybe that's a innate fear of mine, like planes going down and you're still on it.
Jesus!
A good scene is this giant like highway shot of a plane just crashed in the middle.
Oh yeah, and it's all the traffic. That got blocked by it. That was a thing that I like in real life.
That was in the first teaser.
That was in the Comic-Con teaser, yeah. Mm-hmm. But in like I was reading that the Department of Defense said that the number one biggest thing that could fuck up the United States government is an EMP. And I was like reading that article. I was like, holy
I mean,
shit!
that was
Like,
the
yeah,
main-
there's
that
a
was
bunch
pretty
of
much the
fucking
main
shit that.
power of these.
Right, yeah,
That was the power that neutralized the humans from
Right,
being able to do anything. throughout
Exactly,
the whole
uh-huh.
movie. Because the next scene we see, like Elizabeth Olsen's walking, all of a sudden, oh, there's a jet in the side of a building blowing up.
Right, yeah,
Like, oh,
like
God.
and that's another the good gag is that she doesn't see the jet crash yet.
Yeah.
What she sees is the guy in the parachute.
Yeah.
And she's just like,
Right.
oh, what the fuck? And then you hear, and then she looks, and it's the fucking jet crashing.
Right.
Which is, I mean, that's like another
That's a
good-
suspense.
yeah. You're just like, you're trying to figure out what's happening,
Like, oh,
and then
here's a guy just parachuting. Why?
why? And then you're like, oh, that's why.
Mhm.
There, just before that scene, on the San Francisco on the Golden Gate Bridge
Mhm.
is the
Which
the
I need to say, like, that's probably the second best scene. Is the Golden Gate Bridge.
there's that gag where it's the guys on the boats, they're watching the planes
planes fall
fall,
out of
and
the
you
sky.
see like 1, 2, 3, and they're all like a couple hundred feet away, and you're like, all right, I get the gag, 1, 2, 3, they're all falling, but then the fourth one falls right fucking in front of you, and you're just like, holy shit, like that.
and then they see the Muto
Dive down.
diving down
Mhm.
for him. I was like, which is just a cool shot in itself, just something diving underwater with
Yeah,
whatever it
uh-huh.
catches.
It's
It's like, oh, those guys are dead.
also in that scene is probably my favorite character of the whole movie, which is the bus
Bus
driver.
driver. I was
Yeah.
gonna say the bus
He is
driver.
a fucking hero. He doesn't give a fuck.
It's like I can't hear.
Uh-huh.
Kids, calm down.
kids, please. I
Like,
can't
he's a
hear.
hero. He saved a bunch
He
of
saves
kids.
all those fucking kids
Yeah.
after like the military was like,
Oh.
hey, stay right here. He sees shit go down. He's like, I'm taking this into my own hand.
Right. Yeah, I was like, I don't care if you're military or not.
He fucking drives through that whole shit. I was like, that dude's a god to me.
Because I just saw something on Instagram.
Mhm.
The sounds Godzilla makes.
Yeah.
Props to the sound designer.
It's-
Because it makes
It's a good roar. It's
yeah,
different
he
too.
makes very like it sounds a lot like ships creaking, like sounds.
Yeah,
And
uh-huh.
I was just
That really helps with the
that
weight
scene,
of
and it's
him.
like because it's not like this bellowing roar.
Uh-huh.
It's like it's like nothing I've ever heard.
It's
before.
the roar
Yeah.
plus more.
Yeah.
It's a really
Because,
it's a
when he's
really
getting hit by the missiles and he breaks through the bridge. It's like, oh, it's like because I kept thinking it was the bridge creaking. I
Mhm.
was like, oh, I didn't realize that was the sounds Godzilla was actually making. I was like, oh, it's very monstrous. It's
yeah.
a very monstrous sound he's making.
I mean, you get the sense of weight to him, the
Yeah.
size of him,
Right.
which is just no Godzilla movie does it better than this one, where you get the actual like massive scale of him.
Right. Especially like Shin Godzilla, because I mean, most of like the things knocking him over in that are like the actual build. It was an actual puppet falling over. Like they were relying on something actually falling, whereas this they had to kind of figure out like what would this monster sound like as
Right,
the building fell on top
Yeah.
of it, and these two creatures came whooping up on him.
Another good scene that sells the scale is the like the big scene of the movie, the Halo jump,
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
which like
the use of color.
that scene is fucking
the use of red.
insane.
Yeah.
With the music and shit.
Mhm.
And then like they're just jumping out, and then all of a sudden you see the POV from within their goggles, and you're just seeing, oh hey, here's like Godzilla's elbow,
Yeah.
and you're fucking frightened. Like
Right.
that's
Because
insane.
they halfway they see Godzilla battling the Muto, and
Uh-huh.
then it gets to the point of view of somebody that's just right next to
Uh-huh,
him
yeah.
as they're trying to parachute down. I think even as Aaron Taylor Johnson, he's like looking to a street down, and you just see Godzilla.
Well, just walk.
his leg walk.
Yeah.
It's like, damn.
Uh-huh.
They're ants to these.
Yeah,
these
exactly.
Leviathans.
They really sell that.
It was like, yeah, knows how to do scale.
Uh-huh.
Very, very well.
That was I shot a short film
Mhm.
back in like 2013 or 14, and I don't know if I had seen the trailer yet, or maybe I just knew that song, but the Halo jump song, the little
Yeah.
I used that in my short film. It was like a little horror short.
Right.
And then so like when I was watching the movie and that song came on, and I was like, holy shit, like that's the same fucking song that I used.
Right.
And then so watching the movie like further, and then till the end where Aaron Taylor Johnson, he's on the boat with the nuke, and he's like you know, I'm gonna fucking die, whatever. And so he's just like tired of shit, and he's like sitting straight up, and then he like leans over like this and falls to the ground, and then the camera follows him.
Right.
Dude, I used that fucking shot in that same exact short.
Recently, like there's a word for a shot.
That's like that, where it was just seeing that shot and then using that same song. I was like, man, I thought of this first, you fucking asshole. I mean, you probably shot it like 2 years before I did, but I was like, man, that's crazy that both of those would still be in that.
Yeah. So by now I've realized this movie's just us gushing about our favorite scenes from the movie. So I have one more. So his atomic breath, I think, was done.
Oh my gosh.
And the thing that was like, oh fuck, this is fucking awesome, was the Muto coming in. You see the bright light, this bright blue light, and then the sound they use is what sells it. It sounds like a generator,
just revving up. Yeah,
I was like, that is the coolest take.
That's another thing.
So cool.
That's another thing that like the movie almost teaches you that moment, because it's like, all right, here's like just like those Muto scenes where it's like, all right, you're panning left to right, and then at the end you're gonna get something. Just follow the light. Yeah. Follow where the light goes, and then you're gonna get something. And then that movie does the same exact the fire breath. The light starts on its tail and it revs up to the top, and you're like, hold on, where is this? It's leading way. And then once you realize, you're like, oh shit, I forgot that he has fucking lasers in his mouth.
And then the soldiers' like reaction to that, they're like, oh fuck, what is that?
It can blow fire. Which, because in this one it's more fire than
it's like a blue fire. I mean, that's what it normally is. It's just like a blue fucking beam.
I think in the trailer for the new one, it's more that to form. It looks more like a laser, just a powerful.
I really like that like chunky aspect, the chunky look of the blue fire that this one has.
Because it's not like a perfect thing.
It's not a perfect beam. It's just like, it's almost vomiting it out.
It makes it more organic, is what it is.
This is the first time we've seen it, and I guess we can assume this is the first time it's used it in a long time.
Right, yeah.
That breath.
Having to rev it up. It's so good. And then he just fucking vomits inside the guy's mouth. Oh, man.
One. Yeah, so he takes out the first one, and then... Again, Aaron Taylor Johnson ends up with a Muto back in his face. Floating away on the ship.
And he survives. Surprisingly, he survives every incident. Multiple times.
You get this close-up shot, and you just hear this crunch, and Godzilla's just biting into it.
The head falls off. He just tosses it away. Oh, Jesus.
I was like, that is... I was like, man, he knows how to create imagery.
Those Mutos are cool, man. I really like those Mutos. The fucking... The part where Aaron Taylor Johnson like kills the eggs, like he like burns them up and shit, and then the Muto like freaks out and runs back to the eggs. That like, when I was watching it recently, it fucked me up, because like I was like cleaning like my garden and shit, and there was a big hole that I think was like a wasp hole or something, where they like lay their eggs and whatever. And I was like, what the fuck is that? Let me just spray that with like some like bug. So I sprayed the shit out of it, right? And then I'm like, all right, let me throw some mulch down elsewhere. And I was just like putting some mulch down, and then I look back at that hole, and there's a fucking wasp in there that is like, it's not crying, but it looks like it's like digging, trying to like get back to its eggs. And I was like, fuck, I just killed its family.
Like, what are you?
I was like, Jesus Christ. So when I watched that scene, I was like, that's the exact same thing that I did. I fucked up. I mean, it was...
That's a callback to like '98 Godzilla.
Yeah, where they have all those eggs.
It's like, oh, this Godzilla laid eggs.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, those are, for some reason, those baby Godzillas were more terrifying
than the actual.
Because it was feeding time, and you were the meal.
Which we did not get a sequel to that movie, because you had that teaser at the end of it where there was one egg. That one egg survived.
Oh, maybe they're doing those things. They're waiting like their like actual amount of time it take for that Godzilla to go up underground in the subway, the New York subway. Yeah,
Matthew Broderick's fat now.
Killed a guy.
That's right. Yeah, that sucks, huh? Yeah. Him and Jennifer Grey killed like a mom and their own kids.
I don't know too much of that story, but
it's very unfortunate.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's something that needs to stay with the 90s.
Yeah. It was a very sad ending. Very sad ending.
Yeah.
Unlike the movie, which had a very good triumphant ending.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Godzilla gets to
Godzilla gets back up.
walk
yeah,
off into the
Godzilla
sunset.
passed out from exhaustion.
Yeah.
Man, that was a rumor I was
With
hearing.
all the bird shit on his face.
Yeah.
That's something they were talking to, like someone from Legendary Pictures talking about, like, you know, he was the hero.
Yeah,
of this
that's
one.
what I liked.
But they're like, you know, he's like, he might not always be the good guy.
But this one he
But in
was.
this
Yeah.
one he was. And it
Yeah.
looks like he's going to be that, you know,
But
in the
from
next-
what the trailers
Yeah,
show.
they should.
In the second one.
They should.
He does not care about what the humans are doing.
Yeah, again, like,
Considering even they said in this movie, oh yeah, in 1954 they tried killing Godzilla.
Yeah.
Yeah.
with nukes.
And-
they were just feeding him. That's all they were
Yeah,
doing.
you know, but now in the lore, it's like, oh yeah, he loves radiation. Can't kill him.
I'm excited for number 2. I'm ready.
man.
I'm ready for
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
That is my top anticipated.
The trailer for it is so good. And it has like probably like one of
Yeah.
my top 3 favorite songs of all time, which is Claire de Lune.
Claire de Lune.
Yeah, Claude Debussy. Like that's
yeah,
one of my
but-
favorite fucking songs of all time.
You know,
really.
when it finally hits the peak of that song, there's when Mothra is spreading its wings.
Oh yeah,
like that is the most emotional part.
yeah.
of that.
It's great.
And it also, again, gives scale to how big
He
Mothra
is. Yeah.
Mhm.
Good.
Uh-huh.
They made Mothra huge.
The
Um,
designs for all of the monsters are
Are very,
Are
really
amazing.
cool.
Yeah.
very good.
Uh-huh. Before we keep going, let's
Yeah.
let's go for a rating on how we're gonna rate Godzilla. Like
Godzilla 2014.
yeah, yeah. What
First-
was that? What was that checklist that you had?
We'll
just-
Wait, what's the scale of this?
yeah.
1 to 10, 1
Yeah.
to 5,
Right. Let me.
1
pull
to
that
4,
up. Okay,
1 to 3.
The subjects we were going to grade it on.
Mhm.
The scaling system, the scoring system was 1 to 10 baragons.
Okay, yeah.
So we
That's
were
right.
going to grade it on writing,
Mm-hmm.
acting,
Yeah,
directing, and octagon control.
that's right. That's right.
Which is that a well known like
Octagon control is
it's
it's definitely something just from watching a lot of UFC, which is
Oh,
just octagon. That's,
Yeah, I might need
that's
like
definitely
little
a judging
description of what that
criteria.
is.
Basically, what I call octagon control is in relation to this is just going to be how much the kaiju or whatever was actually in it, because that's something that like a lot of people critique about kaiju movies is whether or not it's in it a lot or if it's in it not
and
a lot.
That's something on subsequent watches
Mhm.
of what makes. And I hate to say this, what makes it harder to watch is because I know the scenes that I want to see, and they're later in the movie.
Oh, sure, you got to
It's
wait
like,
for it.
I have to wait
Yeah.
for it. And whereas
Uh-huh.
the very first time watching it, the suspense was great. Now that the surprise has gotten on,
Uh-huh.
and then getting to watch the movie for what it is, it's a little harder. It's a
Right,
little harder
sure.
to get through.
All right.
The second, third, fourth on watch. It's like, okay, all right.
We'll have Chris grade his first.
Okay.
Okay.
1 out of 10s. So it's basically going to be those criteria, 1 out of
Mm.
10s, but then your actual overall score, keep that to yourself.
Okay, so I'm grading it for writing 1 through 10,
Yeah.
and then
Whoa.
acting 1 through 10.
Uh-huh.
Is that what I'm doing?
And then whatever that
Ah.
checklist is.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh, I haven't thought about this, guys. Can we skip me and then go around the
All
circle?
right, let's go for Matthias first.
Writing.
Uh-huh.
I can give it an 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
9 out of 10
Uh-huh.
marathons. I feel it's the story is great.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like what they did in it, the Mutos,
Mhm.
the characters were great. I feel like Aaron Taylor Johnson, like his performance was kind of weak. He had a very
Yeah, it's just
almost-
because he's the straight man. He
had
can't
his
really.
character was just he looked bored the
Uh-huh.
whole movie.
It's just him trying to get to his kids. Like that's the only
Right.
thing that's going on
I mean, he lacked
with him is
almost
getting.
emotion.
Uh,
Whereas Bryan Cranston, had plenty of emotion.
I mean, he has that
I mean,
one scene where.
trying to like a great scene with Bryan Cranston was when he's getting interrogated.
Yeah, in the closet.
Uh-huh.
That like whenever I watch that, I'm like, oh, this is a
Very
fucking
emotional.
stage
He had
play.
the door,
Like-
the closing the door,
Mhm.
very emotional. Aaron Taylor Johnson, as soon as you see him, like he's getting light shine in his eyes because he's getting off an airplane.
Uh-huh.
He looks bored. Like the most emotion he had was when he was with his
Family,
kid
yeah,
and his
yeah.
wife. For only less than like a couple hours, because then he had to go save his dad.
Yeah,
I was
that
like,
sucks, huh?
Yeah. So, but the story was well written.
Mm-hmm.
and maybe that's where I can deduct most of the points was from some of the
acting. Yeah.
acting.
Uh-huh.
Aaron Taylor Johnson's, I just didn't really care for his performance. Elizabeth Olsen was a better parent, better acting. She just, I don't feel like she was in it enough.
Sure.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So I maybe I'll give acting, maybe a 7,
Uh-huh.
another 7 or 8, because
Yeah.
Ken Watanabe had a really great performance.
Right.
Had,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
had his great line of
All the-
"Let them
all-
fight."
Exactly. Yeah.
Which
All
is
the
good.
supporting actors are fucking. phenomenal.
Directing, I'll give Gareth Edwards full props. I was like,
Yeah.
I feel like he knew what he was doing
Exactly.
with this movie. And then Octagon Control. If we're looking from a time standpoint, like the amount of time Godzilla was in. This
Yeah,
one
just
was
like
2
whether
hours.
it's like the amount of time on how well it uses that time.
Okay. It uses the 8 minutes of
Uh-huh.
screen time very well.
Uh-huh.
It like all the scenes with Godzilla were good. There was no
Right.
bad scene
Uh-huh.
when Godzilla was in it.
Sure.
But I mean, I guess I can agree with everyone else. Like, I wish there was a little more of
Yeah.
them,
Uh-huh.
especially in the beginning. Like
Yeah.
I think if there was a Godzilla thing, Godzilla scene first thing,
Mm-hmm.
that could hold you over a little bit.
Yeah.
and then
A little hand job of Godzilla before.
A little
Yeah.
Godzilla-sized
Foreplay.
appetizer.
Yeah.
So I'll give that more, maybe a 6 or 7.
Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So, but definitely directing, they hit it out of the park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Gareth
For sure.
Edwards hit out of the park. Writing was really good. Acting had
Okay.
some, I guess I could say one. Aaron Taylor Johnson is not a bad actor in his own
Right,
right.
uh-huh.
It just wasn't. I feel his best performance.
Right. Sure. Yeah.
Considering that it was also because that was the year Age of Ultron came out too, right?
It was
Or
like
that
a year later, I think.
that was a
2015. Yeah. Age of Ultron. Yeah.
Okay, I was like, oh, we'll see them again as Scarlet Witch and Quick.
Yeah. Yeah.
And again, Aaron Taylor Johnson had a very similar kind of.
Oh, I mean,
very
he's
lack
also.
of
uh-huh.
emotion.
Yeah.
Oh no, he's a little shithead in that movie.
Yeah,
He is.
true.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. He's like, yeah.
All right, Chris.
All right, I guess since Matt went now, it's my turn. All right, so down the list, writing, I'd actually have to give it 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because I mean, first couple of watches, you don't really get it like the full experience of the writing,
Sure.
but after a few, you begin to notice that it's pretty much just 2 separate plots.
Mm-hmm.
You have the human aspect and you have the monster aspect that are just running parallel to each other,
True.
but and they just and then
they
the moment where
merge.
they merge,
Uh-huh.
where
Yeah.
he blows up the eggs, and
Right.
you see the Muto right in Aaron Taylor Johnson's.
Uh-huh. It's like an
face.
episode of Seinfeld where
Yeah.
it's 2 separate stories that finally meet at the
Meet
end.
up, yeah. And I have to give it 10 out of 10, just because, just like it takes a while to get into, but once you like really realize what's going on,
Mhm.
that first part without the monsters, it's actually just it becomes a great movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With that, acting, I do have to agree with Matt. Probably like a 7 out of 10.
Mhm.
A lot of performances. I mean, great performances, but a few of them might have been
Roll
a little lacking, a little
Uh-huh.
weak. A more range of emotion, I guess.
Sure, yeah.
Let me try to speak acting terms here.
Yeah.
Directing, phenomenal. 10 out of 10
Yeah.
for that
Yeah.
one, for
Yeah.
sure. And Octagon Control, I would have to give 9 out of 10 for that one.
Yeah.
Even though I would love to have gotten more Godzilla from the
Mhm.
get-go, I'd feel like it would take away from the aspect of the
Right.
2 plots that
Right,
are
the
going
human
on.
story,
the
yeah,
human story and the monster
Yeah.
monster aspect of it. But like and again, the moments that we do get to see Godzilla and the
Yeah.
Muto, phenomenal. Like,
Right.
like give me more of that, and then
Uh-huh.
it just builds that anticipation of the end of the movie where there's just like an all-out brawl between the 2.
Right.
And yeah, so
Right.
9 out of 10.
Yeah,
Uh-huh,
that's what it looks like the next movie is setting up better, because
Mhm.
that second plot running alongside it was taken away from the brawl between Godzilla.
Mhm.
and
Sure,
to
yeah.
go watch this part where it's like, oh, this fight between Godzilla and Ghidorah is going to be like the whole last act of the movie.
Right,
It's just
yeah.
gonna be them brawling and duking it out, and all the humans can do is watch.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like where this one, like the people had an agenda that
They had
Yeah.
some sort of mission that they had to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like whatever they thought was what they needed to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
You know, so it looks like they might try to get exposition out of the way fairly.
I mean, they don't have to explain much
Yeah.
anymore now.
No.
Now that you
Because
already
it's
know
gonna
who
be all the
Godzilla
monsters. It's
is.
gonna be all the monsters.
Yeah,
you, know,
you don't really have to explain
revealing
much.
themselves.
All you have to do is, oh, hey, we're a world where Godzilla exists.
Yep.
Let's rock. Let's go.
Right.
That's all you have to do now.
Something, before you get to your score,
Uh,
it looks like the Mothra larva is in it. Like, because in the first trailer, when you see Millie Bobby Brown stick her hand out.
Oh yeah, when she, that's
when she goes,
that's
that-
for
that's
sure
like,
the
oh, I was
larva.
like, oh, I did
That's
not
not-
realize that. I was like, oh, I like that.
That's
It's
the
like,
larva.
you gotta
Yeah,
get,
for sure.
Larva Mothra. And it looks like, based on what we see in the trailer, like Rodan and Mothra are going to be having their own battle, and King Ghidorah and
Godzilla are going to do their thing. Yeah.
So I was like, oh, that's very fitting.
Yeah.
The two very sky
Sky versus
Titans versus
the two gods.
Predator,
Yeah.
like Titans.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm into two. But as far as 2014 goes, I mean,
Right.
the writing, like, I really like how, just from a structure standpoint, like, it starts off, I was talking about those two prologues, which is already
Yeah.
strange in itself. Like, why would you have two prologues? But they both really work, especially the
and,
Cranston Binoche one.
and that's what I was thinking last night. Like, because what I like when you see these two stories of these characters, and then they finally meet into the same story.
Right.
That's how I felt when we saw Ken Watanabe at the base in Japan with the Muto egg.
Right.
I was like, oh, shit, he's there with them.
This is that storyline. This is the
character.
Godzilla
15 years
storyline.
later, they're finally in the same
Yeah.
place.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah,
that
like
was really cool.
I'm such a huge fan of the way that they added those two prologues, and then it goes into basically what you expect from a disaster movie,
Yeah.
like, you know, Independence Day,
Yeah.
2012, all those, where it's, all right, here we got to do something. Oh shit, something went down. All right, now let's get to this place instead.
Right.
All right,
Yeah.
some shit went down. All right, now let's get to this place. It's truly, it follows the disaster movie formula, which is already a genre I'm a fan of. So I'll give the writing like maybe like a 8 out of 10. I'm a fan. Like,
Yes.
I wish there was more that they could have written for the Ford character, but I mean, what his storyline already is something
It was
that
expansive,
Yeah.
it's something I already like in general. So
there's enough. There was a lot of.
yeah.
There was a lot of.
And then in regards to acting, like, I mean, I'm a sucker for character actors, and it's literally a movie that's
Right.
cast with character actors.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, everyone knows that I'm trying to wife Sally Hawkins. So, like,
Oh,
just
right,
her,
exactly.
just her,
Just her brief performances.
Right,
Yeah.
and her-
I was like, if you didn't get enough of Sally Hawkins, go watch Paddington.
Right, exactly, yeah.
A real kaiju movie. If I've ever seen one.
her and Ken Watanabe, their relationship is like, it's really cool. It's really interesting, that teacher student like relationship.
Yeah.
And then
She calls him sensei.
yeah, she calls him
calls
sensei.
him-
Yeah,
she calls him
yeah,
sensei.
which
That's
is
awesome.
really cool. And then they've got like David
Master.
Strathairn as
Yes,
like
as
the
the
admiral.
admiral.
They've got Richard T. Jones, who is fucking great in The Wood. He plays like just like a random Navy guy, but he brings just like a certain amount of like authoritarianism
Yeah.
that the role like
Right.
benefits from.
Mhm.
I really like Elizabeth Olsen as like the nurse mom.
Yeah.
Because,
very,
like-
very fitting role for.
I mean, just watching that as like a young nurse mom, and I was like, fuck, like
she-
my sister was a young nurse mom, and who
just as a young mom.
Yeah,
Like her interaction when Ford comes home.
yeah,
Her interactions with her.
Like,
her kid, I was like, oh wow,
I'm-
she's very believable.
watching that, I was like, fuck, I'm like, because my brother-in-law is in the military,
Right.
and so he has to go TDY a bunch of times, and so it's just her and the kids, and I was like, fuck, like this is like the same.
Yeah.
like her having to like, you know, raise whatever kid while the other is out working. And I was like, fuck, man, like I've seen this so
Real
much.
life, yeah.
Yeah. And then Cranston, like I was saying earlier, the scene with him and Binoche where she gets stuck behind the wall is so sad.
Yeah.
And then to see that character become the character of Cranston when he's
Right.
in the interrogation
he's,
room.
You know, he's very like work obsessed in the
Uh-huh.
beginning. You know,
It's-
very work
it's-
focused, and then he becomes obsessed with what happened
Right.
to his
Yeah.
friend. That sucks him in. For
It's so powerful. Where like that scene where he's like wondering, what happened to his wife.
And then what I watched last night, what I thought was really nice was when he's on the helicopter and they're going to the Navy battleship, he's telling Ford to go home to his family. I was like, I really didn't pay attention to that part first watches. It's like I felt like that was a very nice closing to his character. He died.
Which is also something that's crazy. He fucking dies. He's dead. He's gone.
He dies 30 minutes into the movie.
And you're like, oh shit.
But with the short amount of time I was there, I was like, oh,
he really makes his mark.
It was a good redemption for him.
Yeah,
because I was like, oh, he's a shit dad.
Yeah,
Not a good dad.
And then just like Watanabe's great in it. Just like. I mean, they have fucking Victor Rasuk, who is, I mean, I'm sure you guys have never fucking heard of who. He plays the guy when Ford joins the up with that the military again.
The detachment. With the train.
He's the guy that he's always talking to. The Dominican guy with the New York accent. Yeah.
So when he gets wiped off that bridge, and you're like, he's not going to be in Godzilla 2.
He is such a good actor, and then just to see him doing this little bit role.
I was like, yeah, because he's like, oh, he said enough lines to be a side character,
right?
And, not a background actor.
Yeah, that dude, like, he's a legit good actor, and then for him just to do like this small role, but still like make a mark with what you got, like it's really good. And then, of course, I wish, Aaron Taylor Johnson had more to do. I think I think that's what everyone wishes, but I mean there's not really much else you can do with what's
going on.
So it takes the same hit that the writing does, which the Ford character, and so for that I'll give it like another like 8 or maybe a 9. I mean, just because everyone pulls their fucking weight. So they're doing the best with what they got. And directing, of course. I mean, I think we're all in agreement. That's a fucking a rock star. Right, I mean, just in terms of the way that he frames every shot, it's very like kind of like silent film era where it's all in the visual. And so I'm like, oh man, like that's a 10 out of 10. No more need be said.
I mean, I forgot he did Rogue One until you said something.
Oh really, dude?
I forgot you said.
Watch Rogue One again, and it's the same stuff. It's the same like gags where it's like something's in frame.
I haven't seen that since it came.
That might be my favorite Star Wars is Rogue One. That's really good. And then Octagon Control. I mean, what were we saying? It was like 8 minutes or whatever.
8 minutes
that he was in.
And,
those truly those 8 minutes fucking feel way more than 8 minutes, which is insane. Like, I mean, even though it's 8 minutes, it's still a Godzilla movie. It's not these humans have to fight Godzilla movie. It's a Godzilla movie, which is just so. I mean, I wish there was more, but I kind of don't because I'm a sucker for the. I mean, this is something.
Sucker for the slow reveal.
I mean, just like once we.
Yeah, well, after the subsequent watches, like that slow reveal becomes necessary.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Like once we watch like review more Godzilla kaiju movies.
Yeah.
I'll go on to say that I like the human stories more. I love the monster parts, but like. The human stories are usually where the story is, and I really like having.
Because that's the same as Godzilla Final Wars. Because I did a watch recently. Of Godzilla's very first part of the movie, and they take him out pretty much.
Yeah,
and then you don't see him again until very.
That's right. That's right, man. I haven't seen that in fucking forever. Yeah. We gotta watch that again.
Yeah, and Tokyo SOS.
Yeah,
I mean Tokyo SOS. I'd say is more of a Mothra movie.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And Godzilla's
because they had Godzilla versus Mecha Godzilla before that. That's right. That was the sequel to it.
Purely the bad guy.
Yeah.
Whereas,
with the white eyes.
Yeah, and Final Wars Godzilla is the bad guy, but he's doing good things.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, Octagon Control. I mean, he's only in it 8 minutes, but he fucking works for it. So I'm gonna give it like an 8, 7.5. 8. I'm gonna give it an 8.
Gotcha.
Round up.
Yeah.
Round up.
So just out of like 1 through 5 stars, like how would you rate this? Final thoughts.
Oof. 1 through 5. I guess the first movie I am reviewing. I have to.
It's
I mean,
an easy 4.
It's a 4.
Easy
Yeah, that's
four,
what I'm saying.
yeah.
It's a 4.
It-
I don't want to score.
It's a great movie.
You don't want to score it too high.
Yeah,
don't
that's
wanna
what
score
I'm
too low.
debating.
Yeah,
Like,
uh-huh.
should I give it a 4?
Like, all movies, it's not perfect,
Right.
and
uh-huh.
you know, what I see is the flaws are
Right,
present.
yeah.
But it is not bad by any means.
Right, sure,
It's
yeah.
like, Toho says like, oh yeah, this is a great.
They
Godzilla
liked it
movie.
too, yeah,
They
uh-huh.
liked it. Like, damn, it's like okay. Yeah, I feel like a 4 out of 5 is fair.
For yeah,
for this movie.
it's not the best Godzilla movie to me,
No.
but it's
I'll be,
it's for
I can
me
be a harsh
it's
critic on
it's
all
definitely
these
my
things.
favorite Godzilla movie.
It's very memorable.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So I mean, not the best, but definitely my favorite. I'm going 4.5. 4.5 stars is where I'm going.
Yeah. Last thing I can say about think on that.
We can do
It
points
has
in this.
the
Can do a
very-
You can- yeah, you can-
4.16.
You can it's
7.
it's the it's the little spikes on the star.
It has the very it is a Hollywood movie in the
Mhm.
way that it is dark. Like think about all the other Godzilla movies. Or
Yeah, he's
Japan
always
movies.
fighting during the day. That is something that we,
the color I think of when I think of this movie is gray.
yeah, for sure,
Yeah.
It's
for
like,
sure.
Oh, I mean that's like
It's
most,
also
like,
because they
American
shot in Vancouver,
Oh,
which
yeah,
is
right.
completely fucking gray.
Raining all the time. And then trying to compare that to Shin Godzilla, it's like, oh, this movie's very bright.
Yeah, it is.
Weird.
I mean, that's what like the old ones too. Whenever he fought whatever the monster
it's
was,
like,
it
it's always
was
during the day.
just during the day. It's only like during this one, and I think like maybe Godzilla 2000, Godzilla, Final Wars. I think some of it takes place during night.
Yeah,
There's a couple
like
that-
when they first fight Godzilla, he's in Antarctica.
Yeah, uh-huh.
So it's like very dark. It's a blizzard
Right.
going on.
This is for sure the darkest,
Yeah, it's
which
like just-
makes sense for all
his
the
fight
gags
scenes were nighttime.
because it's again like training the eye with the exposure of the light,
Mm-hmm.
and so like that makes sense that it's like the
first
darkest
time
of
you see
it.
a Muto is at nighttime.
Mhm, yeah, exactly.
And then you see the one in Las Vegas during daytime. And
Yeah.
that's about it.
So we've got 4.5. That's a
Yeah.
pretty respectable score.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
4.1
We're all on the same
Uh-huh,
side.
yeah, we're-
37.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Huh?
Right.
3.14. Blah, 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 blah.
Oh, jeez.
All right. Well, that's what we've got for Godzilla 2014. Watch it. If you haven't seen it, fucking watch it. You fucking dumb fuck. I don't know what else to tell you.
And then remember all the things that we've said, so you too can appreciate.
Actually,
why it's-
watch it first. And don't listen
okay,
to us.
okay.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, it's like, oh, I
If
mean,
you happen
sure.
to skip to the very end of this podcast,
That's right, uh-huh.
watch
That's
the
like,
movie before you
yeah,
listen
we've
to us.
given you 5 years
Uh-huh.
to watch it.
Yeah,
with
well,
a
what's
new
wrong
one
with you? Yeah,
coming
uh-huh.
out in May. So,
Yeah. Matthew, plug what you got. Where can we find you online?
Don't follow me specifically. It's
Oh,
like you don't want to
oh.
see my mad
Uh-huh.
ramblings. You follow
Blurry L, yeah, huh?
Well,
On
it's,
all,
on pretty much YouTube.
yeah.
We have a website and Instagram. I'd
Yeah.
say that's the places you want to.
For sure. If you
Check
liked
Blurry out.
listening to this podcast, we'll be on the Blurry L network. So
Yeah.
just follow that and you'll get it.
Right, and this is our first episode back for
uh-huh.
City Smashers. City Smashers has its own Instagram.
Yes,
So-
City
so
Smashers
follow
does.
City
Uh-huh.
Smashers on
Yeah.
Does it?
I think it does. Yeah, nothing's been posted. On
Yeah,
it.
sure.
City on Instagram, Twitter. You can email us if you have any questions.
Yeah,
at the City
'cause
Smashers
we
at
would-
gmail.com, I
Yeah,
think.
we would like to do take fan questions.
Yeah, for sure.
At some point.
Little
yeah.
mailbag.
Yeah, mailbag. That'd be cool.
Chris, where can we find you?
I got nothing going on. I'm just a guest on this, guys. But it's just like a... No. I'm not going to go into that.
No, you're not gonna plug yourself.
Yeah,
You're not gonna plug your couches that you make.
Prototypes, guys, prototypes.
Prototypes.
LinkedIn.
Listen, if you
LinkedIn,
need a couch that can fold and fit in the trunk of your car, come find Chris.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Yeah. You can find me on basically everything: Twitter,
Yeah,
Tumblr,
I mean, You have more
Instagram.
of a internet portfolio than we do.
Yeah, that's true.
You have
Uh-huh.
a great yearly movie review.
That's true.
that I
Yeah.
want everyone to
You can
watch.
just follow me at Jerson or David. That's JERSON ORDAVID, and you can fucking heckle me. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you.
Yeah.
Slide into my
it's the same
DMs.
here. Yeah. If you find me on Instagram, send me.
Yeah. Yeah, but we'll keep pumping shit out.
Yeah. This is.
We're back, baby.
Yeah,
that's all I can tell
back.
you.
2020 right here, guys.
It's funny we say that. Hey, we're back. This is your first.
This is your first time,
They're hearing us, but Blurry Eel is back.
Blurry Eel is back.
Go check out all of our content on YouTube.
Yes.
I do video game related content on YouTube.
That you do.
And we have a couple shorts.
Mhm.
We have some big plans that we won't get into because I don't want to promise something that.
So if you're looking to be disappointed, listen.
Yeah,
Follow
this
Blurry
is the
Eel.
podcast for you.
Yeah, that's right. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Later.
Hey Matt.
Hey, Jay.
I don't really know what to watch right now. I'm flipping through my TV and nothing's really coming to me. Well, you got any recommendations?
What are you watching TV for? Everything's on YouTube now.
You what is this? YouTube? Can you spell it?
YouTube.
Okay. What should I watch on this mystical website
Well,
called YouTube?
Have you been living under a rock? Have you heard of Blurry Eel?
What's Blurry Eel? What's that?
It's your number one source for all online entertainments.
My number one source for all online entertainment.
Blurry Eel's got gaming videos. It's got shorts. It's got podcasts. It has podcasts.
What kind of podcasts?
Have you heard of City Smashers?
That's starting to sound familiar. I'm into that.
Yeah.
So I just have to go to youtube.com/Blurry Eel. No, that's not what it is.
You have to go to the search bar.
Oh.
Blurry Eel can't afford /Blurry Eel yet.
All
Yeah.
right.
Right.
So you just type in the search bar Blurry Eel. That's BLURRY space EEEL.
Correct.
Or EEL.
EEL.
2 E's.
2 E's.
1 L.
1 L.
Okay. I think I got it. I'll check it out.
Why don't you go home and plug it in right now?
Will do.